Good morning, everybody. Rodney here. Just waiting for people to join into the chats. We had several good sunrise streams this morning. We had Charlie starting us off today. David, AZ Drone Dude, good morning, my friend. Scott, Jackrabbit FPV, good morning. Anyway, as I was saying, we had a pretty good lineup this morning. Had Charlie go live this morning. That was kind of a surprise, but a pleasant one. Then we had, of course, my sunrise, which was actually pretty beautiful this morning. And then we had Dennis. Let me make some camera adjustments here. Whoa, camera adjustments, not monitor adjustments. How silly. Now it's out of balance. Oh my God, I got to get the balance back. Hot Rod Daytona, go Navy. So, but anyway, let me get to working here on this. There, that's better. I kind of like that one better anyway. So, but, well, I don't know if y'all have seen the video. I took my baby hawk. This one is the one that my friend Ollie gave me. This is the one I call Ollie Hawk. And look what I put on it. I put on an 03 unit. And it works pretty well, except for one thing. There's a lot of vibration when I punch out and stuff. So I got to figure out how to stop that. Dean, Miko Ghost, the old codger, good morning. John can fix stuff. Good morning, my friend. Jim's droning aerial photography. Good morning. So, yeah, I'm waiting for people to pop in now. So, here we go. Here's Mr. Mike Kelly. Good morning, Mike. How you doing?
Doing good. I had to shut my volume off on YouTube.
Oh,
and
yeah.
my earphones, I'm hearing blah, 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 blah.
I get that too sometimes. Philip. Good morning.
Good morning. How y'all?
Doing pretty good, man. How about yourself? I hear you're going to be pretty busy today.
Yeah. Yeah. Hold on. Let me see.
Nope.
Okay. Well, let me go on. Jim's droning arrow. Good morning. Flying Flynn Media. John. Good morning. Jackson RC Aviation. Chris. Good morning. Let's see. Joe Fotoleo. Good morning.
Morning, Joe. Morning, Scott.
Yeah, I expect Dennis will be popping in here pretty soon. All right. We're going to try this again. Good morning, Philip.
Morning. Hey, how y'all doing?
Doing pretty good. There you go. Jerry Bauer, good morning.
I was seeing how you turn the camera. I got it now. So here's the mighty lift.
Oh, okay. That's what you were talking about. I wasn't quite sure what you were talking about, but now I understand.
I meant to say toe behind lift. So
well, that's what made it. Yeah.
yeah, we've got to swap out all these pole lights. They're all blue. They're turning blue, and they want them back to white. This is the only weekend we can basically do it. So, okay.
Well, better get her done then.
Yeah, I just want to call, wish everybody a great morning, and get busy at it.
Yeah, well, don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to rush you off, but you're welcome to stay on as long as you want. But
no,
I know that could be quite a lengthy task there. So
yeah, that's what I'm thinking too. So yeah, I'm gonna go get busy.
Yep.
Y'all have a great morning.
Oh, my morning started off pretty good, man. Had a beautiful sunrise this morning.
Yeah, I can't wait to see the replays on these. I woke up this morning and just took a shower and headed out the door. So never didn't have much time to watch anything this morning. But I will most definitely catch up on the replays.
Awesome.
Well, have a great morning. Let me get out of this and see if I can't get it.
He got out of it. Whew, gone. All right. So USA Drone Flyer, Captain Joe America. Good morning, Marine. How you doing, brother? Who else?
Captain Joe.
Jack Rabbit. Can fix stuff. Good morning. Surprisingly, no vibration in my 3-inch 6S. Now that's good. Speaking of that, I've been toying with an idea of buying a Speedy Bee. Let me see if I can get it called up here again.
I'm so tempted to do stuff like that, but I got to learn to fly first before I
Well,
start spending money on other drones.
it would be good to start off with something.
Yeah, I got the freestyle.
Oh, do you?
Tiny Hawk.
Okay.
Yeah, I got the Tiny Hawk freestyle. So
Yeah.
I'm learning to using that, but I got to get used to. I got to learn how to fly that before I spend money on another one.
No, I hear you. You don't want to get you a high dollar one and then crash it the first thing. That's
Yeah.
what I did. You remember Rick Halber?
Yep.
He sent me a Tiny Hawk S.
Mm-hmm.
That's basically what I started with.
Yeah, I've got the Tiny Hawk and the Tiny Hawk freestyle.
And then I went to a spin up, and I think it was the second spin up that I went to. I won a Tiny Hawk freestyle, the full package,
Right.
ready to fly. And so I started with the Tiny Hawk S, and then I went to started that one, and then my friend Ollie that gave me this one. He bought this one for me, but I never flew. It took me like 3 months before I would fly this thing because I wanted to get at least decent at it, right? And
It will make turns.
And sure enough, I mean, after about 3 months, when I started getting into it and getting good at it, that's when I started with trying that one. So
Yeah.
and believe me, that one's, the only thing on here, this is probably, I don't know if this is interesting to people or not, but it is kind of to me. The only thing on here that is the original quad is this top plate.
You broke everything else?
Yeah, I've replaced the flight controller probably about 4 different times.
Wow.
And the DJI or the Cadix Vista Pro that I had on here, Polar, that I had on here, was original, and I've since taken it off and putting on the 03. So, but yeah, that particular quad, at least the top plate has been with me from the beginning. So
Kind of like a restoration on an old hot rod. You cut off all the bad metal everywhere that you can and redo it with all new sheet metal, and you end up with a 60% of no, not even that, 30% original. Everything else is all restored.
right, hot rod.
Don't buy now. 03 won't fit current frames.
Well, surprisingly enough, it fit in that baby hop.
And the 04 is supposed to be even bigger, isn't it? Isn't the 04 thicker?
I thought it was going to be smaller.
I don't know. I'm asking.
I think I heard Josh Bardwell say it was actually going to be smaller.
Be nice. Yeah. Yeah, I just got to learn to fly analog and get this thing to go around corners without zinging off into the woods. And once I can do that, then I can start looking at maybe building something.
Yeah.
04,
Just
04 is smaller. Jim's droning says the 04 is smaller.
that's what I've been hearing. It's going to be smaller.
Yeah, Joe, I know. Digital's the way. That's a big chunk of money to go from analog up to digital.
Johnny Drone Fly, good morning.
Johnny
Hey, let me go
Dronefly.
through here and see, make sure I didn't
Go
miss
ahead.
anybody. Let's see, Scott, Hot Rod, Copper State, USA Drone Flyer, Joe Fotoleo, Jim's Droning, Johnny Drone Fly, my friend. Can Fix Stuff, Flying Flynn Media, John, good morning. Jerry Bauer, good morning. Oh, I didn't even see him come in at all. Hey, Jerry, good morning, man. Sorry I missed you. Looks like you're on the road there, dude.
Right.
Yeah, I'm on the road. So to answer your question, Rodney, there's two 04s. And this is why people are hearing different things. So there's going to be an 04 Pro, and the camera on it is a bit bigger than the current 03 depth-wise. It's going to be the same width, about 20 millimeters, but it's going to be, I guess, a little taller, definitely a little deeper. And then the one that everybody's going, oh, it's going to be smaller, is the 04 Lite. So the 04 Lite is actually going to be 10 grams, but it's a smaller camera. So I presume it's the 14 millimeter on that one with a smaller sensor. It's a 1/2-inch sensor on the 04 Lite. And it's I think the 1/1/3 on the 04 Pro. So there's literally going to be two versions of that 04 air unit.
Gotcha.
So that's why I was saying don't buy it. Don't buy the problem with most of the current frames, and DJI might fix this before they launch the 04, but they've moved the screws on the camera mount. So instead of being more towards the center of the camera, they put it on the outside edge. So you literally can't screw it into any of the frames that are sort of built for that 03 screw mount right at the moment, unless they change that at the last second, which Matchtech said they might do. Apparently there was some consideration there. If they don't do that, though, the current 03 frames, for the most part, will not support the 04. Now, the funny part of it is the 3 drones that I built myself all have TPU for the front end, so I can reprint the TPU to actually support the 04.
Huh. Well, if you
But
got
my
that,
NAS, yeah, go ahead.
I was going to say, if you send me that STL file.
Yeah, I haven't created them yet. I got to wait for the 04 to come out.
Okay.
The baby
see.
Hawk. Yeah, the baby Hawk. Unless they put the screw holes back where they were, you're not going to be able to do anything with the baby Hawk, because most of them have just a sort of small little plastic piece in there for vibrations that are specifically dialed into the, where the screws are in that camera. So if they don't go back to that screw mount, none of those frames will support the 04 unless somebody comes up with a little metal adapter kind of thing that you screw into the camera that has the shorter screw holes to screw into the side of the frame. Somebody could, it would be easy enough to do it. It just have to be a thin piece of metal that you could slide up in there to do an adapter. Either that or all these frame guys are going to have to, and I don't think they'll do it, but you know, they could, like a lot of these frames, they'll have the metal front end, and you can sort of take the front end off where the camera housing is. So they could all release a custom front end that would fit the 04.
Right. Yep.
I doubt they do it because they're going to want to sell you a whole new drone. They're not going to sell you a new part.
Yeah, that's the way it usually works.
I just wouldn't anticipate that they'll do it. Now, what I would anticipate is some guy who's good at doing metalworking to come up with a sort of a thin little adapter sort of piece of metal that you could put on the 04 camera and still put it into an 03 mount.
Yeah. Well,
So
I would
just say, if you're thinking about buying something right now, 04 is probably January.
I wasn't even thinking about the 04.
Yeah. So anyways, 04 is coming. So it's just something to think about if you're thinking about getting an FPV drone right now.
Well, I don't know. I think I have to agree with who was it? Joe Fotoleo and Mad Props. Just going to stick with the 03 for now. I mean,
yeah, I've got extras for the same reason.
So
the advantage, Rodney, of the 04 is the video better? Yeah, it's a little better. It's like the Avata 2 over the Avata 1, basically, camera-wise. But, you know, the biggest difference that I saw when I got that Avata 2 is if you do a lot of flying in shade where you're going in and out of shade, like under the tree and then back out into the sun and so on and so forth. If you fly in a lot of places like that, then the 04 is going to be way nicer because the 03, if you go from light to dark, it takes about 2 seconds before that camera adjusts, and you can actually kind of see decent.
That I have noticed.
Yeah, the 04 solves that problem. That's the big advantage of the 04 is if you're doing a lot of light to dark or dark to light. In particular, light to dark is the one that's the worst for the 03 camera to adjust on. So that will be the advantage of the 04.
Yeah. Johnny Droneflyer also said that since the 03s are reduced in price, buy a bunch of them. In fact, I already did buy 2 of them at the reduced price, and I may buy a couple more. But
I got 3 sitting in my box.
I can see, maybe going 04, but the 03 is good enough for me. I'm not going to do it professionally, so don't disagree. So, but I was getting ready to say earlier, there's hang on a minute. There's a quad that I was looking at buying. Maybe it was just
looking at it. Oh, you said Speedy Bee or Newbie?
Newbie Stinger B3 is what I'm looking at.
Oh yeah. I looked at that one really close. That looks like a fun drone. I'm with you on that one. That's a nice little drone.
I've seen some reviews on it. And the one I'm looking at even comes with GPS, and I have a lot of questions about GPS on these FPV drones because right now none of my drones have GPS on it.
I can explain all of it.
So
I put them on. I have them on all of mine.
I really don't see that much of a point in my case because no matter where I crash, I can usually find it pretty quick.
Yeah,
I don't fly miles away from me. So
Yeah, neither do I. But there is one advantage that people seem to forget with it. Well, one is you can see the speed, but that's just sort of a personal thing. If you have a drone that's like that, but there actually is a real benefit to the GPS with the GPS rescue, and it's not, it's basically DJI's return to home. But and people go, yeah, well, I'm not flying that far away. But there is one real damned advantage to it, and that is if you get the drone out of control and you're like, oh shit, I don't know which way to move my fingers. If you hit GPS rescue, it will level that drone out in a split second, just like the oh shit button on the DJI FPV, where it just like halts and levels the drone. GPS rescue does the same thing. So it's a good oh shit button if you have it on there.
I guess I can see that. It just seems, I don't know.
If you're doing lots of stunts and you get out of control, or you get lost or dizzy or whatever, it's like, okay, hit the button, let it level it back out, turn it off, and then keep on flying.
Well, the situations you've described, I just haven't been in yet, I guess.
Yeah.
I mean,
The Baby Hawk, you can't put it on.
Hang on a minute. Ryan Lockwood. Good morning, brother. How you doing?
Good. How are you guys?
I'm doing all right. So, but anyway, yeah, I was just kind of looking at that. So
You got to have the UARTs in order to put it on. So the Baby Hawk only has 2, so you can't put it on the Baby Hawk.
right. This one, it comes built into it already. So.
Oh yeah, the Stinger Beat. Yeah, it's got the UARTs on it.
Yeah. So.
There is something that I would suggest for folks to put on, even if you don't want to do the GPS. But if you don't have a Speedy Bee flight controller, that means you don't have the Bluetooth connector, so that you can use the Speedy Bee app to actually essentially run Betaflight. Speedy Bee makes a little Bluetooth adapter that you can solder to a UART, and then use the Speedy Bee app to configure your drone. That little chip is freaking nice.
I didn't know about that, but of course I haven't done a whole lot of research on it yet. I just saw a review on it, and it looked like it was a pretty fun quad. So,
do you watch Rimsler?
Who?
Rimsler, RIMMZLER.
I've seen a couple of his videos. Yeah,
he has one on that drone. It was a nice video.
Yeah. So,
but that's a nice little 3-inch drone.
And I believe it's 6S too.
4S on that one.
Is it?
Yeah.
All right. Well, let me go through the
3-inch I built. I put 6S.
Hey, Hot Rod, you're beginning to break up, buddy. In fact, you just froze.
Bye. Bye.
Bye. So Ron, what you been up to, man?
Working.
Working long hours?
Pardon me?
Working long hours?
Yeah, any week. Did you remember last week that little saga I talked about? One of my supervisors.
Oh, yeah. About the 4-wheeler?
Yep.
All right.
Yep, it's going bye-byes. Apparently the little boy woke up the other day and come out in the kitchen. I can't remember if one day come out and said, "Mommy, when can we go to Ron's house to ride his 4-wheeler again?" It's like, oh, you're using my child now too?
I know.
Yeah. No, he's actually coming over today, the boss, and a little nervous, but I have confidence in his father. I have a tree, Rodney, that's kind of growing like this out in the front yard. One bad storm, one heavy wet snow, and it's either my deck or the back half of my garage. So
Well, I
his
think
dad,
that tree would have to go then.
yeah, and apparently I didn't know it. Brad said his dad was a logger for 30 years. I'm like, oh, this is good. So his dad's coming over today, him and his dad, and they're going to cut it down. So a little nervous, but somebody with 30 years of cutting down trees.
Yeah, they should be able to do that.
Yeah. But so I'll be outside all day today. But
is it cold out there?
It was warm yesterday, but apparently the temperature's dropping and they're potentially calling for snow today.
No, not in Wyoming.
No.
Seriously? No.
It was,
not in Wyoming in almost December. No.
It was almost 60 yesterday, which is not bad for Wyoming in middle November.
T-shirt.
So, yeah, it's pretty much beginning to stay in the 50s and 60s here. So let me go through the chat list real fast. Make sure I got okay. RL Photography, good morning. Oh, hi, Ron. Warren, Akira Show, good morning. Scott, Jackrabbit FPV, Joe Photoleo, guys. Flying Flynn Media, good morning. Johnny Drone Flyer, AZ Drone Dude, Place It Here, Kian. Copper State Aerial, Mad Props Media. Barkley. FOMO will make you broke very quickly. What is FOMO? No need to update everything. There will be an 05, 06. So yeah, that's true too. Yeah, I think I got everybody. I wonder why Dennis is not here yet.
Well, he said his neighbor had a ambulance in front of his house. So he might be dealing with that.
Oh, yeah. Oh, fear of missing out. Thank you, Joe.
Yep.
I would have been clueless. Oh, well, let me put the link in the chat. If anybody cares to join, please feel free to do so. So you got any big hunting trips coming up, Ron?
Yeah, I still got my elk hunt. And that's the hunt that my buddy donated to me. But I still, if I'm out in the region where I'm allowed to hunt, Wyoming has what they call a draw system. Like you apply for a certain area to hunt, and it's luck of the draw if you get drawn to, but you got to hunt in that region. And day before yesterday, I was out hunting deer. I have what they call a general deer tag, and I can hunt any state land. Anybody can. Sure as heck, I come down off that state land, and I'm just coming down to this dirt road, and something caught my eye, and I looked over, and there was a big bull elk laying there. Man, I slowly creeped off the road to where I was legal. You have to be 30 feet off the road. and this thing wasn't even looking at me. I'm like, and I'm like, right before I stuck the gun out, I'm like, let me check. Sure enough, I'm about a quarter mile from the region I'm allowed to hunt. I'm like,
Oh
you gotta
no.
be kidding me.
Oh no. Close one.
Yeah. So it was a no-go for the day, but one of my very good friends, he's about on the level of friendship that my friend Don was. And he's from Pennsylvania. He comes out here to hunt. He got to meet Don. He actually come out for the memorial service. And anyhow, he's trying to talk me into a moose hunt in Newfoundland next year.
Oh, now that would be cool. You've never hunted moose before, have you?
No. So that'd be a new experience. I'm running out of wall space.
You're gonna have to build another room.
I know.
We'll call it the Ron Lockwood Trophy Room.
This is a start here, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
My only Christmas, I was over in Hobby Lobby the other day, and like, well, why not? It'll be probably my only decoration, but I bought a hat for Brutus, so get a little Santa hat on him.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. Other than that, buddy, it's nothing new or different. Just gonna spend the day outside. Oh, that'll be fun.
No, I don't like that so much.
Too big, right?
Well, not that it,
Face
it's
is
not
like
that
this
it's
big
too
on the
big, it's
monitor.
just, like too skinny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would even like that for a while.
Yeah, you see my eyeballs moving. So Brad came out on let me think here. Wednesday. He stopped over. I took him out. We went out to the desert a little bit and flew around. He had a great time. Got to see a wild horse, actual wild horse in the river eating. And yeah, it was a fun time.
Yeah, he texted me later that day, and he said, "Man, he had such a blast."
Good. I'm glad he did. Yep. Took him a couple
Actually, kind of
places.
made me jealous.
Come on out anytime.
Well, I'd love to.
Yeah, it's a lot different, you know. I mean, shoot, desert and versus all the colors and all that stuff. The desert has its own beauty. I tell people that all the time. It's constantly amazes me when you get out there, you don't realize the beauty that it has. Because it's different than anywhere else you've ever been, that's for sure.
Absolutely, yeah. Hey, Joe.
Joe Fodolio.
Good morning. That vertical video was no good. I had to jump in so we could go back to horizontal.
Well, I appreciate that, brother.
It's all good. It's all good. Morning, Mike. Morning, Ron. How are you guys?
Good.
Morning. Good.
Good. Good.
You know, I'm thinking about doing, Rodney, is I thought about the drone at first, but more so, I think I'd like to try the 360 camera and set it up so when that tree's, it's a good sized tree, and when it comes down, you know, capture it on film.
That would be a good idea. That'd be pretty cool. That'd make for a good short if you're into shorts.
Will you
Yeah.
put the camera like at the base or a little further? Yeah. That'd be cool. Yeah, looking up and just follow it all the way down. That'd be a good shot.
Yeah. Yeah, that'd be
That
kind of neat.
360 is amazing.
Just make
the
sure
way
it doesn't lean back to the camera, man. Don't lean away from it.
Yeah.
Cut your notch the right way.
Yeah, that X4, actually, I was pretty pleased with it. You know, I had it attached to the boat in Alaska. It did a nice job.
That's one thing I've never got. One piece of tech toy I've never got is a 360 camera.
Yeah.
I've been if I was big into photography, I would probably consider getting one. But
Yeah.
I mean, I started off buying a bunch of cameras. Like I bought two Canon cameras, single lens reflex cameras, and I just could never get into it the way photographers do. It just either I felt like I just didn't have the time to go search out stuff, and I still feel that way. It just seems like I don't have the time to do what's necessary to get good photography. But but then you meet guys like Ron here, who is a fantastic photographer. No matter what he says, he is a great photographer.
I'm a mediocre guy.
Yeah, see what I tell you. But
for a lot of people, photography gets a lot of people into drones. It was the opposite for me. I was into drones, and then I started learning about camera settings and what ISO and shutter speed was, all that. And then I was like, all right, well, I want to try that on some handheld stuff, So drones got me into photography, and then I got some cheap secondhand stuff when I got my DSLR camera and lenses and all that stuff. But I just went into manual settings, and it's like, all right, what's it take to get, whatever, shallow depth or whatever it is I'm looking for, just a good photo, good exposure, whatever. I just started playing with it, and it's fun. Like I'm definitely a novice, but it's fun to get out there and play with a DSLR cameras and zoom lenses and, shallow depth, all that stuff.
Yeah.
I enjoy it.
What will happen is my supervisor, actually, that's coming out today, his brother is a professional, I guess, editor. He lives in Colorado, and he comes up here frequently to visit his brother, but he apparently is quite the pro at Final Cut Pro, and
nice.
He does like commercials, and I was like,
cool.
yeah, I'd like to sit down with him for about 18 hours.
Pick his brain.
Yeah.
Mr. Crowley, good morning, Sean. Well, Ron, it seems like to me you do pretty good with Final Cut Pro. Isn't that what you use?
Yeah, that and LumaFusion. So that's the iPad app. But
yeah, Alex Escardo is pretty good with Final Cut Pro. That's what he uses.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, he's a good editor.
Had fun yesterday, Rodney. Had to every 6 months we have to go to this training class. We give drugs the same as anesthesia. When we need to put somebody to put them to sleep and put them on a ventilator. And our medical director requires that twice a year we go to training, and we go through all the scenarios. And then the last part of the day, you walk outside, you get in the back of the ambulance that they have staged there, and she's in the back going, "Come on in." And she puts you through a scenario. Oh my goodness. She's the cutest little adorable woman. God, as a medical director, she's tough. Oh, she makes it tough. So I played a little joke on one of my new coworkers yesterday. One of my other coworkers is what they call a moulage artist. Now she does the makeup for, like making up a simulated trauma victim, like with blood and bruises and broken bones, and she's phenomenal at it. So the one guy was pretty intimidated about going in that ambulance. Let's see how I use it.
So drones, like you said, he uses a scissors to edit his videos.
And it shows, Charlie. It shows.
Yeah.
Good work, Charlie.
Do on an SD card.
Charlie.
But yeah, I come out of you're in there for about a half hour with her, and she puts you through the test. So my one coworker, Gabby, I talked her into this. I said, "Go get me some of your fake blood." So I put on this fake blood on the side of my face, and Richard was in the next group to come in to visit with Dr. Lassegard, and I come out of there and I had all this blood down the side of my face. He goes, "Good Lord, Ron, what the hell happened?" I'm like, "Dude, it's tough in there." He's like, "Oh." He had this scared look on his face. Man.
Did I hear you say earlier on that your boss bought the side by side?
Yeah, we're good.
Good deal. Good deal. Nice. Bet that little boy happy.
The boss's wife was actually at our training because she's a paramedic as well. She
Yeah.
just PRN with us, but I was actually the first from 8 to noon, 8 to 1. I was an instructor on our ventilator, and she came into my class and like, oh, hi Lexi, how are you? You know, she never brought up the forward, never said a word.
Kept it professional. Good for her.
But,
Well, I think over time you'll find out how angry she is with you.
yeah.
Once she goes on a ride out there and goes and sees what it is, she'll come around.
Yeah.
They're so much fun. Yeah.
Yep.
He runs with scissors too. Charlie, be careful.
Yeah, do not run with sharp objects.
Well, we got a Houston drone meetup down here tomorrow from 2 to 5 p.m. But I'm showing, I don't know what time of day, but it's like 70% chance of rain tomorrow. So I don't know if it's going to happen or not. And it's way south of me. I'm like 20 minutes north of downtown, and this is almost Galveston. It's in Texas City, Texas.
Wow.
So it's just north of Galveston, about an hour and 10 minutes from me, hour and 15. So, but Brian Mackey and Steve Hyde and the whole Houston gang, you know, it's usually 60 to 80, 100 people or so there, you know.
Wow.
So, and hey, the sun's out today, as you can see it shining in.
It's kind of like that meetup that Kai had or used to have.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think he has them anymore.
Yeah, I think there was always something going on at that field. It was hard to get a meet together. He hadn't done it in a while, but yeah, I hope the weather holds out for tomorrow and get down there for a few hours.
Well, the weather here is supposed to be really windy, but looking out my window, it's a tad bit windy, but it's not that bad. It's just real cloudy. So if the wind doesn't pick up, I may go fly this afternoon. But tomorrow morning, I'll probably fly too, just before church, because it's supposed to be really nice tomorrow.
It's been gorgeous here. It's been about 75 for the high, 59 for the low. It's been like ideal weather for South Texas, Southeast Texas. I'll get a rude awakening though, going back home to Kansas City, and on the 25th we're driving up. So going home for Thanksgiving, and it'll be chilly. I hadn't been there in 4 years in the wintertime.
I was going to ask you, do you live in Kansas City, or you live in Houston, don't you, Jeff?
I live in Houston. Yeah, I'm from Kansas City originally. Yeah, I lived there till I was 11, and then I lived in Houston till age 18. And then I moved back for about 11 years and found my wife, and who's from here. I met my wife at age 12 in 7th grade. And we kind of found each other again, whatever. And she wanted to go back home because I'd moved her to Kansas City for one winter. She lasted.
Yeah.
And because she's a Texas girl. And but we got pregnant right away, and she wanted to go back home. And I was like, you know what? I'm tired of this snow and ice too. Let's get the hell out of here. So been back in Houston since 2008 when my oldest daughter was first born. So been back here 16 years.
Cool. I learned that the wife and I went to Galveston a couple years ago, right after COVID was getting over with, and driving through Houston, we got there a little bit after dark. There was a thunderstorm going on. This was about 2 weeks after the Cat 5 came through there. So, you know, was that 2022, whatever, 23, something like that. Anyway.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah. So I learned to drive Texas style there, which is pretty much you put the turn signal on and move over. It's not a please let me in. It's, hey, I'm coming.
You put your signal on, people are like, you ain't getting in front of me, sucker. It's like,
you just go.
Yeah.
Motorists are horrible down here.
And of course,
it's funny when you go to different states, see how people like. I can go across in Maryland. Took a drive over in Maryland because Maryland is a pretty state.
Yeah.
And I was driving through, and 5 times in a 30-minute period, some people would just cut me off. This one guy was that far from my hood, my bumper.
Yeah.
And he cut me off, and I'm like, oh man.
That was the same thing when I lived in Kansas City, because it's right on the border of Missouri and Kansas. Like there's a KCK and a KC Mo.
Right.
I lived on the Missouri side, But you know, the suburb, the whole city, you know, around 435 loop goes into both states. Man, you cross over to Kansas and it was like, just like you said, it's like crossing over to Maryland or whatever. Like, holy shit, these people are crazy over here. That's all I did was just continue down 435. You cross the state line and like people lose their minds.
You know, I used to always say when I was stationed out in California, if you're out on the highway and it starts raining, you better be ready to dodge, because as soon as that first drop hits, man, the brake lights come on and everybody's
so annoying. Like, it's a drop of water, people. Let's go.
Yeah. That's the same thing driving from in Arizona and you drive over to California, like, holy crap, these people are crazy over here. So
yeah, down here the saying is 9 you're fine, 10 you're mine. That's like the cop saying, like the cop saying 9 over the speed limit, you're fine, 10 over the speed limit, you're mine. Yep. So everybody goes 9 you're fine, 10 you're mine, and most people go 12. 12.
There you go. Yep. I actually had a California Highway Patrol pull me over because I didn't have an Arizona license plate on the front of my car.
Mm.
And I was like, we're on the freeway going along with everybody else, and he's on his motorcycle, comes by and pulls his car over in front of us, turns around and looks back at me and goes, so I'm like, what the hell? I'm doing, you know. So we pull over and he goes, where's your license plate on the front of your car? I said, I'm from Arizona. You're not supposed, we don't have to have one.
You don't have that.
I have a big German license plate on my car. My wife's from Germany, so we have German license plates on there. He goes, well, I'll get you your ticket for speeding here and you'll be on your way. And I'm like, speeding? Everybody else was fast. Well, you were just barely going faster than this guy. I'm like, of course,
what about the i7 what about the BMW i7 that flew by at freaking 98?
They give you that stuff and it's $300 and they know you're not going to come all the way from Arizona to California just to fight that ticket, you know?
Bastards.
Funny, Mike, you bring that up. I'm in a little bit of a battle right now, and I think by the end of my conversation yesterday, this week I got a letter in the mail from Fort Collins, Colorado. Now, I've been in Colorado once in the last 3 years, and that was 3 months ago. And the date of the letter was 11/7 of 24. The date of the violation was 11/30 of 23.
Wow.
Like, wait a minute. And then it says in the letter, if you don't pay this within 20 days, you know, the fine goes up and blah, blah, blah. So I call and I happen to get a guy who says he's the supervisor. And I talked to him the other day and told him, number one, a lot of red flags on this letter. You have my license plate correct. You have the color of my vehicle wrong. The violation was that my vehicle was, registration was outdated. I said, my vehicle is current in registration. Apparently it was some kind of parking authority within Fort Collins around the college. Number one, like I said, I've been in Colorado once in 3 years. And in 2023, I wasn't. So I actually looked up the date of 11/30 of 23. I was in the woods hunting elk. I have my Google Calendar. It says right where I was at. So I went through this whole spiel with this guy, and he's like, well, send me your current registration, a picture of your vehicle, because he has my vehicle listed as silver instead of red. Like, and so I thought about this for 24 hours, and then I called him back and I said, I'm not going to send you anything because one, you have shown me no proof that my vehicle, other than my license plate, is the only thing you have accurate on that letter. And I said, I don't know who works for you that sends out your citations, but if you have a bunch of secretaries and they work for me, they'd be fired. Taking a whole year I'm literally a couple of days short of a year.
Yeah.
And I said, you show me no proof. And I said, here's another thing. I said, with my current job, I need to have a squeaky clean driving record. And you are putting a hamper on that. So what you don't know that you're dealing with is a paramedic from Wyoming And I said, when we're backed in a corner, we can come out like a rattlesnake. I said, most people consider me a pretty nice guy, but you have backed me in a corner and you've pissed me off. So you need to do your homework. You need to check in on this. And I said, what I think happens, and I want to pass this on to everybody to be careful, is the letter looked very intimidating. And, they said, if you don't pay it within so many days, the fine goes up. And if you want to contest it, you must come to court in Colorado.
Yep.
I'm not going to drive, 10 or 12 hours round trip for $100 ticket. And I think they think, wow, most people won't want to do that.
They'll just pay the $100.
Yep.
Consider it done. And I told the guy, I said, and I reminded him what I do for a living. And I said, we are type A, anal retentive. And I said, when backed in a corner, look out. You've backed me in a corner. So you do your homework over the weekend and you make sure you call me back Monday morning. And I said, we'll have another discussion. I said, I'm not paying this. And I said, if I have to, I said, I will come to court and I will make you look like a complete idiot.
Yep.
So
Brother Bob, come in. What's up, Bob?
He started to stutter towards the end of the conversation. I think he realized that maybe we're kind of messing with the wrong guy.
Yeah.
Morning, Brother Bob.
Good. So glad you told him to watch out.
I did get a ticket once when I was in Colorado, and it was, I think, a red light or something. But they had those cameras, with the lights, and they capture, but they get a picture of your car and your plate. I said, you have none of that. You have nothing.
Oh, I thought there was a picture of your car or the supposed car.
Yeah,
it was just somebody sent a letter out.
Yeah. And I said, why did it take your office and then literally 2 weeks short of a full year to notify me?
You're muted, Dennis, FYI.
And did the offense take place in Fort Collins?
That's what they said. I said, give me a location.
Were you ever in Fort Collins?
Pardon me?
Were you ever in Fort Collins?
I drove by there to the airport.
Oh, okay.
That was back in August of this year.
Okay.
2.5, 3 months ago. But this violation is November of 23.
Oh, and you said you were gotten then too.
Yeah, I have it. I said, I did send him a screenshot of my Google Calendar. That's the only thing I felt safe of sending him. But it clearly shows hunting elk with Ty, my buddy Ty. And
so you had to go there and prove that you're innocent. Whatever happened to the Bill of Rights? Innocent until proven guilty and all of that.
Well, remember, we're talking about Colorado here.
Yeah.
It's not that close to California. Come on.
Well, that's
try not to get into politics, but they are a blue state.
Yep.
Yeah.
I did say
they root for the Denver Broncos over there, so
yeah, I did get.
They can't be all that good of a state.
So do you see Brother Bob's question to you?
I do see that, and that's what I told the guy. I said, I do. I have. Matter of fact, I just had to sign a thing last week that so my bosses can. They every 6 months they go through and check your driving record. And I said, you put a tarnish on that, we're going to have a problem.
Well, let me ask you this: when you said you were on a hunt, right?
Yeah.
Was it a guide hunt?
No, I was by myself with my buddy. Yeah.
Now you could pull GPS off your phone or something like that to prove that you were where you say you were at and that kind of stuff, wouldn't you?
Yeah, but how would you do that from a year ago?
That I don't know. I'm just thinking. I know the phones, they can always, at least TV, always go back and look at their. Let's look at their GPS records.
Yeah, we kind of hope that the phone company doesn't store those sorts of records.
Agent McGee on NCIS does it all the time.
I know.
Yeah. Hire those guys. Yeah.
There you go.
But I honestly think when I sat and thought about it, like I said, the letter looks intimidating. And I think the average person was, oh God, I'll just pay this. I would actually spend more in gas, or just as much, driving down to Colorado, spending a day in court, and then driving back. Have to maybe get a hotel. It's going to be a minimum of a 12, 14, 15-hour day.
Yeah.
Well, that would have been us in California too. We would have had to go to LA because it was the LA courts we had to go to fight it. And I'm like, I'm not doing that. Driving to LA, getting a hotel room, doing all that. And it'd be a 2 or 3 day trip because you have to be there ahead of time, get a hotel for the night, get up the next day, go to court, and then drive home after that.
Bob, I beg to differ. It is not someone's word against someone's word. They have to prove that you're guilty. This is the United States of America.
So, Ron, did he actually have that information that the guy you were talking to, or did he not? Because I'm wondering if the phone number was on there.
I actually called the Fort Collins police, and they told me, they said, yeah, we do have this parking authority, but they are not part of the police department. And she said, we can't help you, because I called them to see was this a scam, because these scams today,
I would think
they're getting pretty good at stuff. So I asked a lady, I talked to a dispatcher at Fort Collins police, and they said, yeah, we can't help you, and we don't know of any scams like this. So, but when I asked the guy, I said, I asked him all the questions. I said, why did it take you a year to send this out? You have given me, where's the location? And there was this pause. I said, you have no answer, do you? And there was this pause. He's like, well, I'm looking into the, I was like, I asked him a second time. I said, give me a location of this spot or this violation. He wouldn't answer me. So I'm like,
because he doesn't know.
Again. Yeah. Give me the name of the citation. You get the name of an officer too.
Oh, wait a minute. It's classified top secret. That's why he can't tell you.
No, I knew there was some reason.
They'd have to send the men in black suits to come and get you for that. So, that was a parking ticket then?
It was they said my vehicle was my registration.
That's right. It was expired.
I don't know how you are in your state, but we have to have a little registration sticker up on the
same in Arizona.
Bottom left windshield.
And during my mouthiness and my anger, I said something about the People's Republic of Colorado, and then I got worse towards the end. I said, I don't know if you guys carry badges, squirt guns, whatever. I said, but
squirt guns.
I was getting angry towards the end.
So they're not even a law enforcement.
They're not.
Thing. It's just Joe Blow going down the street or whatever.
Yeah.
That'd be interesting to see how he got your license plate number. Or did they get a license plate number the same? It was a Colorado number on a Colorado plate, but they somehow got it changed over to a Wyoming plate, somewhere along the way.
And here's what troubles me is I said, well, because they asked me for my prior year registration. It just so happens about a month ago, I did it both in my truck and my car. I keep little folders in my vehicle that has my registration, my insurance, and that way there, if I ever get pulled over, I can just pull this folder out and everything's right there. And I find it weird that they were able to find my address, but I said, why can't you check with the Department of Transportation, or here's my county, check with the county courthouse. That's where I go to get my registration done and have my history pulled, and you'll clearly see.
Yeah.
That my
AZ Dave saying, you can. He sent you an email, Ron, to a way to go back and check your GPS location from a year ago.
Oh, cool. I will.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
That could help you out there in that case.
Personally, I think it's a scam.
I do too.
I think it's scammy.
So that's why I was leaning to there were so many red flags.
Yeah, 23 days shy of a year later. Come on.
Yeah.
Come on.
It don't make
And
sense.
there's no picture of the car, no nothing. All they have is your license plate number, and that's
That's
it.
the only thing they had correct.
Yeah.
Was it a certified letter?
No.
Ooh,
You never got it. Put it in the shredder. Same thing with jury duty.
I was a little intimidated, like
I was just going to say that, Joe.
I must maintain a squeaky clean driving record. Otherwise, it'll affect my job.
Sure. Yeah. No, I totally understand that. Yeah. It's affecting your job. So you have to be on top of it and get it taken care of. But shame. Hopefully they get figured out.
Yeah. Bob, they sent me no photos.
Bob Casey makes a good point. Maryland does the same thing. If we go over into Maryland and we come back into Virginia,
right,
and it's just in our area here, there's the Knights Bridge, and going into Maryland is free, but when you come out, they charge you $9. Well, they've done away with the toll booths, so everything's either Easy Pass or photo toll.
Mm-hmm. That's how they did it down here too. Got rid of all the booths.
Yeah,
I there's a lot of toll roads down here.
I get those in the mail all the time. So
I have an easy tag. It makes it easy, but it ain't cheap. Good Lord. If you want to get across town quick, it's the way to go. But man.
Yeah. Now, when I was living in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, I had a toll tag because my job required me to travel all through the area. And you're right. You actually save money by going toll tag.
Mm-hmm, yeah, you save a few cents. I mean, yeah, if it's $1.50 for the toll, you pay $1.25 or something like that.
Yeah. So, but anyway, it's worry free, and you just drive right on through. So it made sense. In fact, when I moved back out here to Virginia, I still had $18.75 on my toll tag. I never refunded it or anything. So. Tomas O'Sullivan in the house. Morning, brother.
Joe, when we went to Galveston, we were coming back out, and the way the roads were at that time, it was right after COVID, like I said, and they still hadn't had the people in the booths, and we were being told that it was free. They weren't taking any tolls right now. So we took the toll road all the way as soon as you come out, and we went, basically, if you're going north, we went left and around Houston that way to pick up the 10. Come back.
Yep.
And I was like, I pulled at the first toll booth I pulled through, and there was nobody there and nothing going on, no way to pay. So I'm like, I ain't stopping no more.
Sure.
Never got anything in the mail.
That's good. That's good.
And that's
knock on wood.
4 years ago,
Sure. Yeah. And they were free there for a while. And they were talking about once all those toll roads, like the Beltway 8 around Houston, and now they're building another loop around that, which is called 99 Grand Parkway. I live 1 mile from it. The Beltway's been paid off for years. They were talking about stopping the tolls on the Beltway a long time ago, and they got rid of the booths, but they got now it's just all easy tag, like you said, Rodney.
Georgia 400, once it was paid for,
it's that money, man. They tell you they're going to end it after it gets paid for, but
nope.
Yep.
That's just what it is. But we don't have state tax down here, so they get you somewhere. Like when I lived in Missouri, you had personal property tax. You got to pay a tax on your car all the time, but there was very little toll roads. Well,
that's
don't have those taxes down here in Texas. Toll roads.
No toll roads at all in Arizona, but we pay state tax, we pay city tax, we pay,
that's the difference. Stuff. They're going to get you one way or another. Yeah.
Gas prices are a little bit higher because they throw tax on that. So.
What's your gas right now for 87?
It just went down to like the QTs and all that are like 329, something like that.
We're a buck less.
I go to Sam's Club, and I just paid $2.89 a gallon at Sam's Club. That was just before the weekend.
I paid $2.38, I think, yesterday, and like Walmart's are usually 5, 6, 7 cents cheaper at Murphy USA.
Well, should see the gas prices coming down here slowly.
Yeah.
Morning, Mayla. Wow.
Morning, Mela.
Bus.
You could take her to McDonald's.
Well,
Oh no, wait, it's only 1850. Yeah, that's not
she's
enough.
promised me
That's a
couple
single meal.
breakfasts a
That's
couple
yeah, I was
times.
wondering.
She still hasn't paid up on those.
Oh man.
They're like an old married couple.
Ah.
You want to get on her good side, sing some of her songs, Rodney. That'll work.
Do what? Sing her songs?
Sing some of her songs, yes.
She wouldn't talk to me afterwards.
How's that go? Happy
See?
life, happy
Problem
life.
solved.
RL Photography ordered a MacBook M4 Pro chip. Ooh.
No, Tomas did. I'm thinking about getting a new. Mine's starting to show her age.
Yep, Alex Escardo just bought the new one too. And so far, he's had it a couple of days and he's just loving it.
My boss and I are going to go halves on a Bamboo P1S 3D printer. He's got a kind of an invention idea, but doesn't really want the printer. Or, he's not a tech guy. Doesn't really want to mess with it. But I'm going to kind of help him out with his invention idea and print some ABS parts, and that'll be good. I'll have a printer.
That is a very
P1S
nice
is a
printer.
good
I have an
printer.
X1C. That's very nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Brad and I were talking about that, and he asked if I ever was going to do that. I said, no. I thought about a couple little things that I could do for I wanted a XT30 holder for my freestyle. I just bought one, but I said I was looking at that. But after I get that done, what do I do with it? Then, then I'm looking for stuff to print, and I'm like, I don't want to go down that rabbit hole, spend that money, and then I'm going to print this hanger thing, or I'm going to do a whistle, or,
Yeah, I don't have a strong desire to own one, but once I have one, I think I'll use it quite a bit because I'll find crap. Johnny's probably in here. I'll print like a napkin holder and stupid shit. You know what I mean? Like just whatever. You know what I mean? Just whatever. Like, oh, okay. I build quads, so like, oh, okay. I'm building another quad, so I can print on my TPU myself. And, the whole deal.
I'm still trying to work out how to get good TPU prints without getting a bunch of strings and stuff.
You got your filament in a dryer?
Yeah.
I know Dave Shattuck's Fly High FPV. He's got like those cereal Tupperware containers. He keeps them in there, and he'll just like drill a hole and put a little dowel through it like a spool, and it stays in there all the time. And he puts a bunch of desiccant, drying stuff. Put a bunch of desiccant in there, and he's got all of his filaments all in their own bin with just this much desiccant in the bottom of it, and he gets
I've started once I open a filament, a thing of filament, I'll put it in a plastic bag and vacuum the air out. I bought a little vacuum kind of, it pulls the air out of the bag, and I'll throw in a thing of desiccant and vacuum it out.
I don't know a lot about the like the internal settings as far as like your bed temperature. Like Dennis would know more about that. More experienced printers would know about that. But I know if you go in there and adjust all your infill speed and all that stuff, kind of do your homework on that. But I know Dave gets really good. He preaches on keeping your stuff dry, and he gets really good results. In fact, he printed the same thing with a bad spool and a good spool, and used better settings for the bad spool and got better results on the dry spool. So,
what were you saying, Dennis?
It's a little bit pricey, but Bamboo Lab just came up with an AMS capable TPU. It's supposed to string less, but the downside to it is it's a little bit more firm than your 95A. It's more like a 98.
Gotcha.
But it might suit what you need. It's just a little bit flexible. It's very, very new. They've released it like a week and a half ago.
You said it's a little more like a PLA rigidity?
It's close to it, but it's not as rigid as
Not
PLA.
as
It's
rigid.
somewhere between those two, right? So
Okay.
I don't know. I actually have a spool on order. I will see, but
Cool.
yeah.
Be interested to hear about that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I may check that out and see if that'll
Well, I
work.
need you see
Especially
David
if
ask
it
you a
works in
question.
the AMS. What was that, Mike?
Arizona drone dude David asked you a question.
Yeah, I was just getting ready to answer it.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
I usually run about 200 for TPU. So I don't know, maybe that may be too high. I don't know.
Rodney, I got a new critter that showed up to the house, something I have never seen before, but it is an all black turkey.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, wow.
I've never seen that. And he's like the neighborhood bully. He's mean as, whatever. He picks on the other turkey. I watched him attack a deer the other day.
Oh my goodness.
First time he pulls that on me, he's going to end up in my freezer. So,
Wow.
But I was saying that sounds like Thanksgiving dinner right there.
Yeah.
You don't want that could be an endangered bird there, Rod.
He could be.
That keeps fooling around with you.
Yeah.
Walking Dead.
Yeah, here's that. I was out on that elk hunt about 2 weeks ago. That's a pretty big bull that we got.
Oh, nice.
Wow.
That thing was huge. Yeah, he was a big boy.
That's nice.
What is that? An elk?
Yeah, it was an elk.
Wow.
Yeah, he was a bruise. That was fun getting him out of the woods.
I bet.
We ended up using a little. We did that theory of work smarter, not harder. So we come up with this pulley system and climbing trees and ropes, and we lifted them up in the air and then back to four-wheeler underneath it, and then we had quite a system going on here.
Nice.
Nice. Yeah.
Yeah, those things are heavy.
Yeah, they weigh a couple pounds.
Ask anybody who's hit one before.
Oh yeah,
guys, I'm gonna jump off here. Little girl's asking for breakfast. Good chatting
All
with
right,
y'all.
Joe.
Everybody in the
Yeah.
chat.
Popping in, brother.
Absolutely. Thanks for the link. Y'all have a great day.
All right, you too. So,
oh man. Well, I'm gonna get my day started here pretty soon. I'm about to check out that link that AZ sent me. AZ's the man when you need tech stuff. He's the man. He's the guy to go to.
Him and I are going to get together one of these days, very, very
Who's that?
soon.
AZ,
David at AZ Tech,
Oh, AZ
AZ
Drone
Drone
Dude.
Dude.
he's
David,
a great source of information.
I'm
I'm
gonna
gonna
put a link in the chat for that.
I'm gonna
TPU.
pick his brain. I'd
Oh,
like
okay.
to get a new Mac and maybe connect up a second monitor, like putting this whole corner right here. So it's so much easier if you have a second monitor when you're doing photography work and editing. And
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I've got a second monitor here. It's just, that's the easiest way to go. Keep
Yeah.
all your other stuff on one and just the picture you're trying to do right there.
right. Yeah. I thought about, like I said, Tomas said he just ordered a MacBook. I thought about that, but I don't know. I kind of like my big screen all in one. It'd be a little pricey. I'd like to get one of those, either that or get one of those big giant curved screens.
Like a 40-inch or whatever they call
Yeah.
it.
Screen you have, that's very nice, Ron.
I got a Samsung 27-inch curve that I use as the main screen, and then just a little Dell one on the other side for putting all the stuff on.
You see
I mean,
that?
that's what I have. What's that?
You see that? That's the tree. It's got to come down. And then that second picture I sent you is the margin of no error. Yeah. So it's got to come down between my retaining wall and the garage.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
And yeah, I sent these pictures to my buddy's dad or my boss's dad, and he said, "Oh yeah, no problem." You know, okay.
Famous
my
last
house.
words.
Yeah.
Ain't my house.
I've seen some of those guys dropping trees in between buildings that are 4 foot wide, you know, and they're dropping these trees right smack through the middle of those buildings. And
Yeah.
if you
So
can do that, that's great.
It's
How
30
long
years,
ago did you send those pictures, Ron?
about 5-10 minutes ago.
Wow. I guess I need to pay more attention.
Instructor, how to check the CPS for a year ago.
Yeah, what could go wrong?
Well, everybody's getting the new Mac. The Jerry Bauer just got a couple of months ago. He got an M3 MacBook Pro.
Yeah.
You know, I got an M2 and MacBook, or was it an M1? I forget which one of the two I got, but it's still pretty fast.
Oh, yes. M1's a nice chip.
So all you guys are Apple stuff, huh?
For
Well,
fun,
just for my laptop.
yeah. There was a learning curve. You know, I was a PC guy all my life, and
Yeah.
but it wasn't too bad.
I still keep a Windows machine around.
Yeah, I have a laptop that it was a cheapo. It was only like a $300 laptop, and it performs like a $300 laptop.
Yeah.
Yeah, when I had to replace my Lenovo, I went to HP, but I got a gaming computer with the high dollar gaming, the video card and all that stuff is all super. That's what I focused on, was that and RAM. So it seems to be doing pretty good. It handles DaVinci without any problem. I can run DaVinci and I don't get it doesn't stutter, doesn't do anything like that. And it handles the 4K and everything. So it does good.
Rodney, do they make these in a new version with no hole in the top?
No, I can check into
They've
it.
never solved that problem, huh?
No,
Joe Fodolio.
they haven't been able to figure out how to take the hole out, not have the hole and still allow drink to happen.
Oh, I see. Yeah, that's a problem.
You know, I wondered, Mike, that's something maybe I'll try and ask AZ. If I got a new Mac, could I somehow slave? Like I said, right now the screen on mine is beautiful. I have no problem with that. But I know this thing's got to be 6 to 8 years old now, and overall performs fairly well, but it's starting to show its age. I guess what I'm wondering is could I still use this as a screen? But if you turn it on, you know what I'm trying to say? In other words, if I got a new Mac, could I somehow slave this as a second screen?
I don't know if you can or not, but let me grab a box real quick here.
You can do that with an iPad. I don't know why you wouldn't. I do know why you wouldn't, but it would make sense that you would be able to do that also with a Mac.
Yeah, you should be able to do that.
I would think, but I can't.
You know, I mean,
that'll happen.
the Big Mac here is, as soon as you turn it on, it's all one unit. The
Right.
screen and
Oh, I see it's an all-in-one.
it's all in one.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Now, during COVID, when I was working, we had we brought all of our stuff home from work because I was on computer all the time. I was a locator. We had to do all of our stuff on the computer. but I have my own computer as well, and I wanted a link or a box that I could put through and put both computers on. So I picked up this docking station. Let's see here, and it has all this stuff on it. And I connected a USB wire that came out with a splitter on it, and I plugged 2 wires into that, one to my work computer and one to my other computer, and you can switch between the two. But I also have my monitors plugged into that, and it's plugged into the laptop. So you can run, I've got the 2 monitors plugged into that docking station that goes into my computer, and via either USB or HDMI.
Right.
So I'm running my laptop with the 2 monitors through that through this docking station.
Gotcha. According to what I just researched, you can use an iMac as a second monitor using target display mode, AirPlay, or Luna display. So if you want to use your iMac as a second monitor, there are 3 ways to do it.
Well, AZ said I can't.
Well, I don't know. I did quick research, right? I mean, one minute of search. So I don't know everything, but
I don't either. That's why I'm
there
at.
may be a way to pull it off. That's all I'm saying.
And my laptop stays closed up all the time. I don't have it open. I'm not using that screen at all. I'm using just the monitors through that wavelength docking station straight to my laptop, and it works beautiful.
There you go. I don't know.
I don't know. I'm trying to learn here today.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had to learn. I did a lot of research before I bought anything, because the docking station is what I needed to learn about. So that was the best one I could find, was that wavelength.
I made a bunch of USBs with our upcoming programs for a choir to help them rehearse. And one of the choir members said, "I have a Mac. I can't use this USB drive." I said, "Really?" She said, "I looked at the whole thing." She said, there's no place for me to plug in a USB. So I don't know what her device is, but I thought that was a strange thing. I'd never heard of that. Does anybody know if the MacBook needs an adapter to plug in a USB?
A dongle?
Yeah.
Well, if the like mine has USB-C ports.
No
It doesn't
USB
use
at
the
all.
regular lightning cable. It has 2 USB-C ports, and that's all it has.
There's
So
no
if I want to
USB-A.
plug,
No USB-A.
No.
Okay, I can take her an adapter. That might be what she needs. I'll see her Sunday, tomorrow.
Give me a second.
Yeah. I have an A to C adapter.
This is what I use for my laptop, my iMac. I've got
Gotcha.
4 USB-A.
Yeah.
2 of them are the regular USB-A, and the other 2 are 3.
Yeah.
USB 3.
Yeah.
Then I have 1 USB-C here, and then over here is a USB-C, but that's just power only.
Gotcha. PD. Yeah.
Yeah, right there. That's just power. But then I've got 3 HDMI ports. I got 2 there and 1 here, so I can have up to 3 monitors plugged into this.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
got Ethernet and then SD card readers.
Yeah.
What's the company on that? Who made that one?
Sutech or
Sutech.
UTech Smart. I can send you a link for it.
Yeah, that's a
No,
smaller
I
version
have
of
a couple
the
of
box
versions
that
of
I
that.
have.
Sorry, Mike, I talked all over you.
Oh no, that's all right. I was just saying that's a smaller version of the box that I have.
Yeah, I have a couple of those. So I was just curious which one you had. One of them's from RCA, and the what is it? The Ethernet, I think, doesn't work. But Everything else
Hey,
works.
Dennis, I'll post that link in the chat.
Okay. I'll
Wow,
check it out later.
I just went into on a Mac. If you go into like up in the upper left-hand corner and you select on about this Mac, you can find the information. God, this thing is from 2015.
Is it an iMac? Should be.
Yes. Yep.
All
Yeah.
in one. Yeah.
And that, that's the nice thing. And people ask, like, why do you go to Apple? I've had this machine obviously now 9 years, almost 10.
There you go. There's your answer.
Yeah. But
Having said that, I have a 2012 Windows machine downstairs, so it's also an all-in-one, but it's about the same size as your iMac.
That link doesn't work, guys. And it won't let me post it in the chat because it's too large. So I had to cut it down, and when I cut it down, it didn't work.
It's fine, Rodney. Don't worry about
But
it.
if you look it up, look up UTech Smart USB-C docking station, triple monitor. And it's on Amazon, and it runs $53.99.
Ooh, I'm proud of it.
Huh?
Proud of it.
Yeah.
to use this, but I'm not sure I can S1 on my Mac.
But it's been real helpful.
Oh, I bet it has. Yeah. You got a lot of lights playing by, I guess that would be your left shoulder. Maybe it's your right shoulder there, Rodney. No, the other way.
It's my window.
Oh, okay.
And it helps a little bit if I pull the shades down, but I need to get something to make it completely dark.
Yeah.
So.
I'm just being picky. That's me.
We're used to that.
I'm gonna drop out, Rodney. I'm gonna go get my day started. We got some stuff we need to get done, so I'm gonna
I was just getting ready to end this too. So
okay, but thanks for having me on, and Ron, good luck with your stuff.
Yeah,
that stuff helps. Good luck with your ticket, buddy.
Yeah, I'll tune in next week to let you know how that goes.
Hey, Russell Graham just put in a link to one of these that's for $11.99. So you might check that one out.
Yeah.
All right, guys. We'll see you.
Thanks for having me.
All right, Mike. Have a good one.
Bye-bye.
Dennis, have a good one.
Bye-bye.
All right, guys. Thank you, everybody.
Have a good one, brother. Y'all take care. Everybody in the chat, thanks so much for being here. Do appreciate it. Don't forget, tomorrow morning, the Sunday Sunrise Crew, starting with Drone Psyche in New York, coming to me here in Virginia, then to Georgia with Dennis Lovelady, and then we'll hop over to Texas with Chris Hope. And after Chris Hope, of course, will be Johnny Drone Flyer with Drones and Coffee. Meanwhile, don't forget to say a prayer for our country, say a prayer for our servicemen and women, and pray for our first responders like this guy here. And
sure.
And you all have a great weekend. Love y'all. Bye now. See you later, Ron.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.